Greetings, my name is Bruce, and the moderator of the 218th General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA. I'm here at a conference, an evangelism consultation called Growing the Church Deep and Wide, and I'm interviewing some folks just to talk about the church, folks from different perspectives and different contexts in the church. And so today we have
Jenny Warner.
And Jenny, what are you serving? What's your deal?
What's my deal? Well, I'm a 37-year-old mom of two beautiful daughters, and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Grew up there. I've kind of run the gamut around the church. I've been in kind of more conservative churches, more conservative schools. I'm now a student at SFTS as
San Francisco Theological Seminary.
Yes, San Francisco Theological Seminary. I'm a member of First Presbyterian Church in Berkeley.
Okay.
And I'm doing my internship at Clayton Valley Presbyterian Church.
And we'll include all those links on this post about that. So what are you doing in your internship?
In my internship? Well, I'm just basically being an associate pastor.
So generalists.
150 member congregation, a solo pastor, and I'm just doing everything, visitation, preaching.
So you're in seminary. Are you headed for ordination? Is that your intent?
That's my intent.
Okay, great. And tell me about your undercare of San Francisco Presbyterian.
I am a candidate.
You're a candidate? Okay, so how has that process been?
You know, in San Francisco Presbyterian, we actually have a really pretty decent presbytery.
Caring, maybe?
Different, yeah. It's been better than I thought. And very discerning and very caring and nurturing.
Okay. What's the hardest part about this about our care process?
The hardest part. Can I push pause in the answer?
No names. The hardest part is not someone.
Yeah, no. The hardest part is not someone. I think the hardest part has just been navigating it for someone like me who didn't grow up in Presbyterian circles and who came in with absolutely no idea of what all these things were meant, and just trying to figure that out.
Right.
And learning that it was a safe place, and wondering sometimes if it was a safe place.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've always thought that the care process is one of the most powerless times in your life.
It's very vulnerable.
Because you have no power.
Yeah.
They just get to tell you.
Yeah.
Which can be also good. It can be character building.
Well, I think I'll remember just walking out of the room a million times and waiting and coming back in. And,
So you said you're 37.
I am.
So 37, intelligent. You are 37?
I am. Okay. I just had a birthday, so I don't remember if I turned 37 or 38.
Maybe I'm 50.
I am 37.
Mom, part of an institution that some would say is kind of on its last legs. Why do you want to be an ordained minister of the Word and Sacrament?
Wow. I think for me, there is a lot of life that I found in just the theology of the Reformed theology, and then in the PCUSA in general. I really like being in a church where there's a lot of ambiguity on all sorts of issues, whether it's social or theological. So I feel comfortable with that. It makes because I'm ambiguous on a lot of things, and so I like being with people that think differently or are wrestling with those things. And I think as a woman, it's been important in a place. I've been in the larger emergent conversation and sometimes felt like, as a woman, especially as a mom who doesn't have time to go to a million conversations, this is a place where I can have a voice and be a part of something. So,
cool. What's your favorite part about seminary? It's like, what's your favorite class? Lunch, recess, PE, chapel. That'd be all right.
You know what I love about SFTS is that it's so small that we have, not so small like it's
because nobody's going there, so this is not the promo video for SFTS.
It is a small school it's a neighborhood school, and so all the professors live around there, and even as a commuter, I got all sorts of attention from the professors. I had one-on-one interaction on all my papers, and so the learning process has been so wonderful for me.
Yeah. Did you take many classes at the Graduate Theological Union?
I've taken a few.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was one of the things. I'm also a graduate of SFTS, 1995 in the house. And I always appreciated the GTU. I thought that was really a great thing. But yeah.
Yeah, right now I'm taking preaching from J. Alfred Smith, who's
I had J. Alfred Smith.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Does he still make you come and preach just on the fly? Has he done that yet?
No. He's retiring.
He's like, no.
I don't know. The class isn't over.
Oops.
Yeah, no, he's great.
So as you're experiencing the church, and you have this breadth of experience in the church, what gives you hope about the church in general, and maybe is there some hope in the PCUSA?
Is there hope? Yeah, I think the reason I'm at this conference is because of the hope that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in more conservative circles, I had a really strong value on evangelism and sharing my faith and living transparently with others. And so for me, my own theological journey has brought me to a place where I feel more excited about sharing that, about inviting people into community, and a community that's about being blessed and blessing the world together. And I feel like that's kind of the movement happening in our country right now. People are really ready to do that, and I'm hopeful about the theology and the history of the PCUSA being able to provide a format for that to happen. So.
What are you worried about? Is there? I mean, I'm not sure any of us, kind of loses sleep. I just interviewed Rick Chase, and we don't lose sleep over the denomination's future. But what concerns you about the way we are church, or what challenges would you have for our denomination right now?
I think there's definitely issues in coming together and moving beyond some of the things that have split us, and moving into more of this idea of mission. But that's, I think, pretty obvious. I think also I am concerned just about, for me, thinking about being a pastor. I often wonder if I really want to do this, because I look at some of the churches and I think, do I really have to go through all of these requirements, and not just to become there, but in there, and what is required by these communities. And there's a resistance to change, and so sometimes that scares me, because I'm very much a change agent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I know that I'm trying to get to every seminary during my term, but I know that there's a lot of anxiety, especially for folks who are kind of getting ready to come out into the, what are you hearing at the seminary? Like, what's the word on the street that the seminary is about? If you could, so all the seminary, we'll pretend all the seminary presidents are watching this.
Yeah.
Because they do, they watch this all the time.
I'm sure.
What do you, not that you have to say what is being said, but let's blame other people.
Right.
What are you hearing people say that they need to hear? The seminary communities.
Wow.
And leadership.
I think there's a lot of concern about our ethics in terms of, and I'm coming from SFTS, but in terms of whether it's greening congregations, or whether it's how we spend our money, or how we employ, those kinds of concerns actually seem to be more on the list than maybe our
issues
ideas about sexuality and that kind of thing.
I brought up sexuality; she did not. So we don't want to get her in trouble. Anyway, yes.
So I think that's a big concern.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty split. There's people who've grown up Presbyterian and who really just want to keep doing what they've known and be in those places, which is fine. And then there's other people like me that are pushing for change and really hoping this church will kind of turn out on the world.
Has the seminary education, is that nurtured both of those things, or is it nurtured your change kind of movement, or is it? Where?
Well, for me, it's hard to say, because I come from such an evangelical background that I have absorbed what I've learned at SFTS and put it into those. I hold both of those within myself, and I feel really passionate that we really need to be having those conversations, because I think there's things that the evangelicalism can offer to a more progressive perspective, and vice versa. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of room for conversation and learning from each other.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about it. Thank you, Jenny, for hanging out a little bit. And if any of you are watching this because you're looking at her to be your possible pastor, she has my reference. 2010. 2010, really?
Yeah, I have a few more classes.
Okay. Well, as of this date, she has my highest recommendation. So
who knows about 2010?
Who knows about 2010? I'm not promising anything. But thanks for joining.
Thanks.
All right. Peace
Bye.
out.
Where is the love? Where is the love?